First of all, we're grateful that we're all here. We're grateful for the friendship and yearning that has brought us all together, and for the technology that is supporting this. I've said before that sometimes I think of us as like tent poles that just hold up a tent, and a tent in which people can gather. So welcome to this tent at this time. And there seems to be a need for this. Hopefully surely there's blessing in it too. You know, the world is experiencing a period of contraction in every sense. Not spiritual contraction, but economic contraction, physical contraction. I'd like to begin with a surah from the Quran, which is called Expansion. Camille's going to recite this for us.
And beginning with the English, inshallah. And this surah from the Blessed Quran that arrived in a moment for our beloved Prophet Muhammad, peace and blessings be upon him and upon all the prophets and messengers, arrived in a moment that was also a moment of difficulty for him and within his community. And yet this beautiful reminder of the blessings of the divine that are with us also in the midst of difficulty. In the name of God, the infinitely compassionate and infinitely merciful, have we not expanded your chest, your heart, and removed from you the burden that weighed down your back, and increased your remembrance? Truly, with every difficulty comes ease. Truly, with every difficulty comes ease. And so when you have been emptied, continue to strive and turn to your Lord with loving attention. Bismillah Rahman Rahim. Alam nashra laka sadrak wa wadana anka wizrak alladhi anqadha dhahrak wa rafa'na laka zikrak. فَإِنَّ مَعَ الْعُسْرِ يُسْرًا إِنَّ مَعَ الْعُسْرِ يُسْرًا فَإِذَا فَرَغْتَ فَانْصَبْ وَإِلَى رَبِّكَ فَارْغَب. صدق الله العظيم.
Amin. I had remembered translating something from Rumi in 2003. And this morning I went looking for it. It was a file that got lost, but I did find it. And this translation was done at the beginning of the Iraq War, which began on March 3rd, 2003. And this translation was done and offered to our community almost exactly to the day. It was actually March 27th. Today's, I think, March 29th, 17 years ago. And it comes from Book 6 of Rumi's Masnavi. And Book 6 begins in a startling way. After, we see a progression in the 6 books of the Masnavi, a spiritual progression. And Book 5 is the book where there's more about experiencing unity with the divine, the bliss of that unity and ecstasy. And Book 6 begins with the description of a world at war, right down to the very elements of existence. Everything is in a kind of mutual destruction. But this is how the world is maintained. This is the reality of this level of existence. But Rumi is introducing this idea at a time when the sense of divine unity and generosity and mercy is still very strong from having experienced that unity with the divine reality. After experiencing that, we return intentionally to this world. Spirituality is not insulation from sorrow, but it is something that helps us to maintain a connection with what is truly real through all states of existence. And our reality has certainly changed just in the last few weeks. What was normal only a month ago is gone. And we don't know whether this will be a short-lived and an intense crisis, or a sea change for humanity, a spiritual reset, possibly an economic reset. We don't know. We have to admit that with all the information that's coming to us, we really don't know what we're facing. But we're already in the midst of a major change in our lives, a reevaluation of how we've been spending our time, what we've given importance to. So I'd like to share with you this passage from Rumi. At the time I called it Mevlana's Meditation on War. I think it'll have a new and different meaning for us today. The snakes are scattering venom, and though the sour-faced folks distress us, yet up in the mountains, in hives among the trees, communities of bees still create their stores of honey. Up in the mountains, in the hives among the trees, communities of bees still create their stores of honey. As much as the poisoners spread their poisons, these antidotes will neutralize them. When you reflect, this world is all in conflict, particle with particle, just as spirituality is in conflict with denial. One particle flies to the left, another to the right. One particle flies up and another down. Witness this conflict in every moment. All of this visible strife is the result of a hidden strife. The outer discord springs from that inner discord. By means of And this is a quote from the Quran. Truly, unto God we are returning. We have come back from ourselves to your ocean, and we have begun to nurse at the source that suckled us. We've come back from ourselves to your ocean, and we've begun to nurse at the source that suckled us. Phantoms, fantasies have distracted us from the path. So don't boast of principles if you have lost the principle. Our war and our peace are in the light of essence. It does not depend on us alone. Everything is between the two fingers of God. The wars of nature, action, language, these terrible conflicts exist in all parts of the universe. The world is maintained by means of these wars. Consider the elements in order to solve these difficulties. The four elements are four strong pillars by which the roof of this present world is supported. One pillar, though, is a destroyer of another. The pillar of water is a destroyer of the pillar of fire. And so this whole edifice of creation is founded upon conflicts. And for better or worse, we are at war. My own states oppose each other. Each is in conflict with the other. I am constantly warring against myself. How can I be in harmony with another? Behold the surging armies of my states, each at war and in conflict with another. Contemplate this same poignant war in yourself. Why then be so busy warring with others? Unless God spares you from this war and brings you into that single colored world of peace. And this is the peace that passeth understanding. These bees in the hills and their hives. I wanted to say, share with you an idea that a friend shared with me yesterday when he said that it's time that our own homes be filled with the light of remembrance. Each of you, where you live, where you're experiencing the lockdown, sheltering in place. May that shelter, may that home be a shelter, a home filled with the light of remembrance. This is a blessing that we have. And I know for many of us now, there's a beauty in this. We've been given a time of retreat, of near solitude, and we're truly thankful for that opportunity. But I also know that for many people in this world and in our own countries, this is a time of great suffering. And the other day I had an experience of that sorrow briefly for myself, and I experienced deeply the sorrow, the grief of what's happening. I was aware of what's happening to beloved friends in India who received word of their lockdown at 8 p.m. at night, a lockdown that would last for weeks. I'm aware of the terrible suffering in many places, in Palestine, in Syria, in Kashmir, in Iraq, in Brooklyn, And I felt that that experience of sorrow was important and true, and very different from an experience of worry or anxiety. It felt somehow more objective. And yet I don't know that I could bear to be in that state continually. But for a while it was a gift to just taste that sorrow. In 2003, when I shared this writing, I also suggested 2 divine attributes that we could call to mind that would help us in our practice of remembrance. I consider this the sort of potent medicine of the divine attributes. You all, I'm sure, are already remembering the divine compassion, the divine mercy, the divine generosity, and patience, and trust. But the 2 attributes that I'd like to share today and call us to experience. The first is God, the self-subsistent, the self-subsistent. And the Arabic word for this is qayyum. And the idea behind qayyum is that all of life is given existence through the one who truly exists. That nothing is meaningless, purposeless, pointless. That which gave us existence maintains each of us, even while the stream of life flows by in the horizontal dimension. There's always this vertical dimension. It is what the whirling dervish experiences when he or she focuses on the axis on which they turn, an axis that runs through all levels of existence, connecting the physical to the ultimate and absolute reality. So should we become disheartened and out of balance and reactive at the time of this obvious tragedy and contraction, Al-Qayyum, the self-subsistent, helps us to realign. So let's take a moment with this. I will recite it, I don't know how many times, whatever feels right. And you can join me in the Arabic, or if you prefer the English, the self-subsistent God. Bismillah. Qayyum. 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 Now continue on the out-breath, silently or audibly in your own space, with Qayyum, the self-subsistent, that axis of reality that runs through all levels of existence. Qayyum, from the physical, through the emotional world, the world of thought and meaning, through the world of the imaginal realm, to the world of absolute divine unity, connecting all levels of existence, and which the human heart, the human consciousness is designed to know and experience. Breath by breath, Ya Qayyum, Ya Qayyum. And now in silence for a while. And it is from this alignment that we draw our patience, meaning our patient endurance and acceptance. And it's from this alignment that we draw our courage and our strength and our generosity, ultimately our love. Qayyum. Stay with the breath, with awareness and gratitude for each breath. And the breath is direct access to this axis of Qayyum, of self-subsistent reality. Rumi says that dogs bark, but the moon continues in its orbit. Crows caw, but the fruit is ripening in the orchard. And when worries about the future arise, let's remind ourselves that truly for people of faith, meaning people who acknowledge and experience the spiritual nature of reality, that our provisions are already sent ahead of us. We will find them there when we need them. Ya Qayyum. If you just stay in this state of awareness, breath by breath, we'll introduce a second attribute, and that is the one and true satisfier of all needs, who is itself needless. And the Arabic word for this is as-samad, samad. You know, those of you who know Surah Ikhlas, Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim, Kul huwallahu ahad, say God is one, Allahus samad, Allah who is samad, the needless one, who is nevertheless the satisfier of all our needs. And our need is always and will be great for that sustenance, for that spiritual support. So, with each breath, remember that one divine reality that is itself without any need, and yet is the responder to our true need, as-samad. Samad. 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 Silently on the out breath, the one who has no need, to which we bring our own need, in order that that one might have the pleasure of satisfying a true human need. And so the bees are preparing their honey, which is a source of healing and pleasure for human beings. And in our homes, with the remembrance of God, our homes are becoming sanctuaries of light. And that light is spreading throughout the world. And our prayer, our wish is that this crisis, which is not accidental, not random, it's truly a sign. But it's left to our own free will whether we'll learn something from this crisis. Whether we'll be able to see it as the gift that it is. And if we can connect with the peace that passeth understanding, if we can connect with this true reality, then we'll be able to go back into the world and do what needs to be done. Spread that light, spread that hope, and be grateful for every breath we take. I know just to be in this state that we're in at this moment, maybe we don't even want to leave it. We could stay here a long time. But today we just wanted to share these thoughts and this experience and this remembrance together, and to keep on practicing and to feel this connection of friendship and longing that extends within this, loosely speaking, community. And Camille and I send our love and prayers to you. Let's pray for each other, and let's be grateful for every moment. Thank you for being with us today.
So much love to all of you. Assalamu alaikum.